Hello class and welcome to week 6 in MSE 608B. Congratulations, you completed week 5. Now we're opening up week 6. Let's take a peek at what the components are and what you need to be working on this week. So our 2 lectures this week, the recorded lecture is based upon people termination. How do we get rid of people resources that we either don't need anymore or need to be terminated or something in between, because there's a variety of things that can happen. So this is a really good video lecture for you on people termination. Once again, the questions in the quiz at the end are going to be challenging for you, and sometimes you're going to say it's situational, sometimes you can say it depends, but I'm always asking you for a yes or no, so I'm always kind of pushing you for that. And then our recorded, Hello class and welcome to MSE 608B. It's week 6. Congratulations on making it through week 5, the week 5 module. Now we're going to open up the week 6 module and explore what we've got planned for week 6. Remember, week 5 we put together a risk management plan that was based upon a risk register and a risk matrix, so that you could really get a snapshot view of where your organization was. Really understand if you needed to go off and work on creating new ideas, looking at positive risks, how you would handle negative risks, things like that. So we're really dealing with the effectiveness and the efficiency of the organization every week now as we start to kind of unveil what that picture looks like as a leader and a manager for a high-tech organization. Now, one of the things that is the hardest to do as a leader or a manager is to terminate someone. So you'll see that the week 6 lecture is on termination. I would tell you that you really should watch this. It's a gut-wrenching experience to have to terminate someone, and I would tell you that as a leader and a manager working in a high-tech organization, this is something that could fall upon you to need to be done, and if it is, at least you've got a framework and a reference to go back to. Review the material that I've provided you here. It's one of those things that isn't something that you really want to do, but you need to be versed and experienced in how to do it if necessary. Now, the Wednesday Zoom live lecture is going to be on executing the plan, enabling others to act. We're going to be actually looking at how do we enable other people, how do we make them available from a leadership perspective, how do we build other people, mentoring, how do we train people, things like that. So you're going to see that we're moving away from the risk perspective and we're looking at something from a positive perspective, which is going to be how do we put together a people-centric leadership program. So for 6 weeks we've talked to you about the people-centric book and what people-centric leadership looks like. This week we're going to get to explore it, and this is the last week for our case study. So this will be the last case study that you have to do. It's on the Lee and Liu attorneys case study. Once again, you need to go ahead and pull up the the template that we've made available for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. The case study template that we've made available for you. Look at that. Make sure you understand to fill out the 5 W's. Submit those along with the explanation for every area of the model. So remember, every week we're taking that model and we're moving further and further towards really understanding all the components of it. So we've gotten to the point now where after 4 weeks you're really versed in this model. Now the other piece of it is going to be those 10 principles. Don't forget that not only do you have the 5 components of the model, you have the 10 principles. And if you can find a way every week, my recommendation would be every week to take one of those principles and say, how can I add this to my leadership or my management palette? How would I do that this week? It will make you a better leader and manager. So that's what we've got set up for you as far as the individual assignment. Now that finishes off the individual assignments also. Everything else that we're going to have moving forward is going to be team-based. So let's take a peek at what we've got lined up for you week 6-wise as a team-based assignment. So this week, the West Company has contacted you as the team that's been working on all these different activities, and we're going to have you put together a people-centric leadership program. And that's going to be an interesting thing because it's going to be very different for you than what you may have currently experienced in a lot of different organizations. They may already have something in place and it may not be very positive. I'm going to have you work on creating, and the West Company, Wind Energy Systems, is going to ask you to put together a leadership program. And that leadership program is going to be based upon people-centric leadership. So there are 8 behaviors that are interconnected elements within that people-centric leadership type of perspective. And we're going to ask you to, how would you create a training program for leaders and managers that enhances their capabilities in these areas, these 8 areas. And we've created a template for you. So we've got the assignment description here. It's got a really good requirements page for you that gives you an understanding of what is required. And then we've put together a template. Let me just pull that up for you. And the template's going to give you the opportunity to really understand what we're looking for. Identify the West's leadership gaps. So what are the leadership gaps? What are the leadership attributes? What are the leadership characteristics? Identify West's short-term strategic goals. Identify West's long-term strategic goals. Identify the West's traits and what leadership means to West. Now, once you've answered all those questions, once you've got a good description, your team's got a good description into that, then I want you to put together a people-centric program, and I want you to identify what all of the components of it would be, how it would handle people, how it would handle teams, all of the different pages that are necessary. You can add to this. You can make as much detail as you want into this program. It can be time-based, so you can talk about implementing it from the start through a phase, and then another phase and another phase, and build on it that way. You are very open to designing a people-centric program from a leadership perspective any way you want. So we want a people-centric leadership program. That's what your goal is going to be for this week. So once you've got that completed, make sure that the team leader is the one that submits the report for it. So he or she is responsible for uploading it, and he or she is responsible for also filling out that team leadership report. So don't forget that every week we expect you to fill those out so that we can hand off. Let me get the report out of the way here so that we can hand off exactly what the status is for week 6, so the week 7 leader, as they come in, starts to look at what they should do. Now, we're right at the point where some of you may, because of the number of people on the team, start to be a leader in the teams for more than 1 week. So there are situations where some of you will be leaders for 2 weeks. Make sure you have rotated the role all the way through everyone before you start to duplicate that effort. The team leader role can then be assigned to someone who wants to do it more than once. It gives you a really good chance to see how important it is and how hard it is to help lead a team and manage a team in a high-tech environment as we continue to move forward. Now, this week the discussion forums are going to be on leadership collaboration and leadership EQ. Not IQ, but EQ, that emotional quotient. You know, the soft skills. We're going to start to pull at those. And those traditionally are really, really tough for a lot of managers and leaders. But we're going to give you the framework to be able to understand how to work with those and how to increase those within yourself. To understand your awareness and be able to explore the other sides of the, I'll call it, the points of view by putting yourself in other people's perspectives. Now, once again, for this week, for week 6, you've got pages 220 through 294 in the Leadership Challenge. It is really coming down the home stretch. You guys are almost through the book. You really understand the model. You really understand all of the pieces of it, and you're becoming stronger and stronger. Each week, I continue to see in the discussions and in the conversations we're having your ability to make a practical application out of this textbook. I really like the direction we're going. And then for week 6, pages 189 through 223 in people-centric leadership, everybody matters. This is essential for this week's assignment because you're going to be using this framework, this reference, the behaviors and the actions that they talk about in people-centric leadership. That's what you're looking to bring into the team assignments. So it's going to be really important. You're almost through the text. You understand enough of it to really feel the story. You start to see what the components of it would be if you were to implement it yourself. Now, that covers everything that we've got for you for week 6. Don't forget, if you've got any problems, issues, or concerns, feel free to jump into that live Zoom presentation. At the end of it, we always have that window open for people to ask any questions that they want. We'll solve any problems, issues, or concerns you've got there. Don't forget, in the module itself, you also have the opportunity to hit problems, issues, or concerns in one of the discussion activities. You can put information in there, or feel free to contact me via email, cell phone, or text me. We're finishing up week 6. We're moving towards week 7. It's exciting to see how much progress you guys have made. It's really becoming something where I can start to see in the way you talk, the actions, the documents that you've put together, that you're really getting versed at understanding the leadership and management necessary for high-tech firms, what that would look like. So have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.